Although it seems like Revelation is hard to understand, when we know much of it is about Islam, it gives us a clear message. Revelation tells us about three major woes. The three woes can be summarized this way. The beginning of Islam is the first woe. The second woe is the spread of Islam. And the third woe is the final punishment for all of those that do not accept Christ as their Savior. Today we will focus on the first two woes described in Revelation chapters 8 to 11. It may surprise you to know that we're pretty far into the second woe. We're told in Revelation that Satan was defeated in heaven and fell to earth. Let's look at the first woe of Revelation chapter 8. The first angel sounded his trumpet, and there came hail and fire mixed with blood, and it was hurled down to the earth. A third of the earth was burned up. A third of the trees were burned up, and all the green grass was burned up. The second angel sounded his trumpet, and something like a huge mountain, all ablaze, was thrown into the sea. A third of the sea turned into blood. A third of the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. The third angel sounded his trumpet, and a great star, blazing like a torch, fell from the sky on a third of the rivers and on the springs of water. The name of the star is Wormwood. A third of the waters turned bitter, and many people died from the waters that had become bitter. These verses mean Satan fell to earth and convinced Muhammad in 610 that Jesus Christ was not the Messiah. Shortly thereafter, Muhammad and his warriors destroyed over 20,000 Christian churches, representing a third of all churches in the world. That's what a third of everything being destroyed means. The polluted water turning bitter means when Islamic doctrine tells Jesus is not the Son of God, this is false. The words, many people died from bitter waters, means the false Islamic doctrine killed their souls. All the green grass being burned up means the Gospels of Christ would never return to these areas. This is true to this day. It is important to understand how much the world changed once Satan, as the fake angel Gabriel, appeared to Muhammad and created the first woe. Most of the areas in the Middle East were Christian in the year 600, and yet by 610, things started to change dramatically. Over the next 152 years, the Christian church was almost completely destroyed in the Middle East by Islam. Revelation says locusts come out of the dark smoke and have the power to sting like a scorpion. We are given the image of a horde of locusts streaming across the earth. The locust swarms are symbolic of the Islamic warriors streaming across the Christian lands. The dark smoke is the false doctrine of the Quran. This woe only hurts those who do not have the seal of God on their foreheads. This means the false doctrine of Islam only damages the souls of people who believe it and do not accept Christ. Those that believe in the Gospels cannot be harmed spiritually. Revelation tells us during these woes, people will seek death but will not find it. They will long to die, but death will elude them. This means on the day of judgment, everyone, including those that follow Islamic teachings, will kneel in front of Christ. The only path to God is through the door opened by Christ. Anyone who denied Christ as the Messiah and Son of God will be forever separated from God. Revelation tells us when they understand this, people would rather be dead than face eternal darkness and separation from God. It is much worse than death. During these woes, all Christians should work and pray that Muslims can understand forgiveness only comes from Christ's sacrifice, while they still have time to learn the truth. Soon it will be too late. Revelation tells us the first woe lasts 5 months. 5 months is symbolically 152 days or literally 152 years. This time period begins from the year 610, when Satan first appeared to Muhammad, until Islamic leaders stopped their conquests and focused their efforts on building a capital in the new city of Baghdad in 762. This site was picked to be very near the ancient location of Babylon itself. Revelation says the second woe involves satanic angels that come from the river Euphrates, meaning the center of the Islamic world. This woe will continue until 1/3 of the world is killed, meaning by being Muslim, and their souls are spiritually killed. The second woe is about the worldwide spread of Islam. John tells us the number of people is too large to count. Revelation tells us their power comes from their mouths, meaning false Islamic teachings and false doctrine. Today, about 24% of the world is Islamic, and it is increasing at a rate such that the world will be 1/3 Islamic around the year 2075. To learn more about Bible prophecy and Islam, see our website at www.revelationnnow.org.